That makes me very smooth. Okay, what's this? Oh, a highlight. Oh, okay. That's the microphone. Microphone off, microphone on. Good morning, Jonathan. It is my first time over here. I've never done um um a live over here. I was just sort of exploring it. You're my first person on live ever. And Mr. Atticus is here for the live. Hi, Karen. Um, so yeah, I just got off his Teams call with immigration lawyer in England, um, seeing about possibilities for retirement, and it's something. It's oh yes, it is a learning curve. Hi, Rosalind. Um, it's something that I may do for retirement. I may not. I don't know. Um, but I did find out that you do not have to be a citizen to purchase property. So I could actually buy a little cottage or something in Scotland and and own it, and then go for either tourist visas, which are 6 months. I could go 6 months at a time, or I could look about getting a job there and then getting a work visa. Hi there, For Heart. Good morning. Fabulous to see you too. Hi, Dawn. Good morning. Good morning. So yeah, it's all something that would be, um, maybe in the future, uh, possibilities. I'm I'm pushing 60, so um, thinking about retirement is something I should be doing, planning for that. I have been planning, but where to be. And it might be that I want to be in several places. I don't know. The other thing I've often thought of is, buying the Winnebago. And if I wanted to go to Minnesota for the summer, I could go there. And if I wanted to go to, I don't know, New Mexico for the winter, I could go there. That sort of thing. I've had a couple friends that have done things like that. And they seemed very happy with that sort of situation. But it was certainly nice talking. The solicitor was a lovely lady, originally from Canada. She also hates Trump. It's just, that's amazing to me that I'm talking to someone who's originally a Canadian citizen, now living in England, is a lawyer, and absolutely cannot stand Humpty Dumpty McFuck stick the tangerine donkey vagina. It's just like, oh my God. You know, and she's like, yes, she said, our country is actually quite worried. I'm like, oh yeah, I understand. And it's everything from the visa statuses to like tourist visas. Trump wants to stop tourist visas, long term, like the 6 months. He wants to stop those. Why? I don't know. And she goes to the tariffs that have been threatened. She goes, that's a big concern for our country. And I'm like, I understand. Um, and she said, we've always been allies. And she said, it feels like we're not right now. Well, we probably aren't. Mm-mm. Karen, I don't think he is liked at all. Hi, Kelly. So yeah, TikTok did go dark last night. It was very interesting because I was on live when it happened, and my screen suddenly sort of went greenish brown. It's like I had friends in a panel. I had 6 people in the panel, and I could hear them talking. I could see them moving, And I was like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? They couldn't hear me. They couldn't see me. And so I got out, but the live stayed up. So they were still in there and I wasn't. And I went to Instagram and I got on Instagram live, and then I texted my sister Eve, who was in there. And I'm like, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. There's a whole screen recording of this. They're like, oh, Rosie says she's on Instagram. She's on Instagram. It's like, and people are like, I'm scared to get out. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm scared to touch anything. And so, but then they all came over to Instagram. We had a good little live over at Instagram. It was fun. And you can only have 4 guests on Instagram, it seems. I thought you could have more before. I thought I was in there once where you could have 6, but maybe I'm wrong. So, but that was quite, and I was like, well, we are all part of history. And my friend Miss Magoo actually screen recorded it, so we have the history. She has a before and after picture. Luckily, I'm smiling at the picture she got of me. Oh, hello, Atticus. Why don't you lay down? Atticus apparently likes all of you. Are you a good boy? Yes. Atticus is one of my 2 boys. He is 10. He's going to be 10 this summer. And he was born, there was a stray kitty who came to my porch who was hugely pregnant. And he was born in a garage, like 2 houses down from me. And that garage has been torn down now. And then I rescued the whole litter when he was 4 weeks old. And yeah, he was actually the runt of the litter. He was tiny compared to all the other kitties. And now he's a big, healthy 12-pound kitty. Yeah, you grew up. He is very, very vocal. Like his mother was a Siamese. He's very Siamese in that manner. He's very vocal. He likes to talk. He is a little bit weird. He's a little high-strung. He's a little on the hissy side. But he also is probably one of the best mousers I have ever seen. There is not anything, any little critter, bug, spider, snake, anything that comes anywhere near here that he doesn't kill. I used to have crickets in the basement. Not anymore. And there's been a couple mice that have gotten in the house. Woe to the poor mouse that has gotten in this house. Because they are gonna... right away. In fact, I came home one time and I knew something was up. I had an old lazy boy in here. And both the cats, both Blue and Atticus, were like staring at the lazy boy like that. And I'm like, what's up? What's up? And I went over and I reclined it and nothing happened. And I turned it upside down. I'm like, nothing is in here. You guys, why are you acting this way? I'm like, you're crazy. Stop it. And I went in the kitchen and I started making some dinner. And I came and I sat down here in this chair. And from the left side here, from the kitchen, all of a sudden I saw Atticus come tearing out of the kitchen. He literally was running on 3 legs with one paw up like this. He went over to that chair, in a flash, and was like, and he had a mouse in his mouth. I was like, you're scary. I'm like, oh my God. So, hi, Play Puck. Gluten-free pixels. Oh, gluten-free. It's going to be okay. You're going through withdrawal. Hey, we find each other over here. He is a good kitty. Atticus is a very good kitty. So, excuse me. Hey, Cece. Kelly Marie. You guys are going to be, we're going to be fine. It's a matter of waiting it out. And I did find out last night you can only be live on Instagram for an hour. Because all of a sudden I got the countdown timer. It's like 20, 19, 18. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Um, so I'll have an hour live every night on Instagram about 8 o'clock, and I'll do story time and everything like that. We'll be fine. And there's so much money tied up in TikTok. They're not going to keep it off. I mean, we're the ones. It's okay, Ghoster. We're okay. We're finding each other here. And I can make, in fact, I'm going to be on Instagram today. If you find any really good cooking videos on Instagram, I don't have any saved like I did on TikTok, but I can do reaction videos on Instagram. It took me, that's also the learning curve. It took me a while to figure out how to do that, but I can. And so, if you find anything that's funny, that's for the Caucasity cookbook, it's emotional damage, let me know. Because you know those people are out there. Oh, God, you know those people are out there. So, yeah, raisins in the potato salad and everything. And Josh's mom, by the way, if you need a Josh's mom fix, she is on Facebook. I believe, I know Josh is on Instagram. Oh, the Caucasity cookbook. Okay, and just so you know, Playful Puck, there's so much. Look, just when you get off here, just to make yourself feel better, just Google how much revenue just in the United States TikTok generates. It's in the billions with a B. So, yeah. And yeah, the owner of TikTok, owner of ByteDance, gave a huge amount of money to Humpty Dumpty McFuckstick for his campaign, and he's attending the inauguration. So it's going to be I'm the white knight riding in on the white pony, and I have fixed everything, and aren't I a great person? And it's going to be one of those. So, what can we do? So, I think he did too, Karen. But I mean, that's one of the things that, TikTok will be the same, sweetie. It is what we make of it. The thing is that he's very easily plied with, or controlled, plied, whatever you want to say, with praise, gifts, and shiny things. And the entire world knows that, and all the world leaders know that. I've always cross-posted here. If you are, hi George, if you're creating, I don't care how big your platform is, if you only have 9 videos, cross-post them. Put them on Instagram. If you put them on Instagram, you can give permission to have them automatically posted then to Threads and Facebook. So then you've covered 4 platforms. It's like investing. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. And then put it on YouTube. On YouTube, you have to be careful about music. And if there's anything like a real serious subject, if I'm talking about a school pew-pewing or something like that, you can restrict it to 18 and above. And so YouTube is a lot stricter that way. But it's just good to spread out the information into a lot of places. Ooh. So I'm just glad to see all you guys here too. I mean, this is so you're part of my history too. This is my very first live over here. Well, yeah, nerdy. I mean, if you've got $10,000 and you want to invest, Native Nana, hi, sweetie. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. If you're going to invest $10,000, you wouldn't put it all in AT&T. You wouldn't put it all in Union Pacific. You would spread it out. You might put some high-risk stocks. You might put some medium, some long-term, some blue chips, things like that. Because if one company goes tits up, then all your money's gone. So spread it out. Diversity equals power, yes. So, people were saying, well, what other platforms are you going to? It's like, I'm already on the other platforms. I mean, I'm on Lemonade, I'm on Threads, I'm on Blue Sky, Instagram, FaceTube. I do have a RedNote account too. RedNote is I like RedNote. RedNote, I mean, we are guests, and you need to be polite. Everything I post there, if I post anything, I mean, even a comment, I post it in English and in Chinese to be polite. And I use an online translator. It may not be correct, but what I've been told is English is taught in Chinese schools, and most Chinese people can read English. Speaking it and understanding it, coming to you verbally, sometimes is harder. But they said, so put it in both. Between the two, it's going to be understood. And on RedNote, you don't talk about politics. You don't talk about anything. It's kind of like the stuff you don't talk about your politics and religion. I don't think we would talk about it all, ever. There's no overt displays of affection. That's considered very distasteful in Asian culture, and it doesn't matter if you're straight or gay. It's still distasteful. Yes, and Lemonade, CapCut, and TikTok are all owned by ByteDance. So they are all down. So what did you just say? Well, that's the thing, Karen. They can't. Yeah, they are Dale. Now there are other. I mean, I love CapCut. It's really good video editing. There are other video editing software programs out there. I'll have to find one in the meantime, or you're just gonna get me with no editing. Oh, we're fine, Dale. We're fine. They've got lots of options. We got lots of options. I do believe this is temporary, and I do believe it will always be temporary because there is too much money involved. There are billions of dollars. And we'll find each other no matter what. I mean, it's not forever. There's just and if it is forever, that is one of the dumbest things, money-wise, they could have ever done. It's just, we'll get through it. I mean, it's not like we have to go back to AOL chat rooms. You posted my live on Blue Sky. Oh, this live? Oh, thanks. Piece of the. Oh, don't you think he already has a piece of it? I mean, they were putting up TikTok links 2 days ago on FaceTube. By the way, Mark Zuckerberg looks like a ventriloquist dummy. But I think that they all are. I mean, doesn't it, Denise? And the trolls that were in the AOL chat rooms are the same trolls that we have today. They are. Lena, you're here. You're okay. Because he can't have antitrust laws, yeah, but he'll figure out. I mean, there's a million trillion ways to get around shit like that. We're good. Oh, I know, Denise. That's why I call the trolls the cockroaches of the internet. They are. They do the same stupid things they've been doing ever since the inception of chat rooms. And it's like, okay, there you are. We've had a few really good trolls. Epic trolls that we remember their names. We were hoping some of them would show up last night, or they didn't. But we did read Forehead Girl. We had a good night. Cockroaches, yes. They're always going to be there. Native Nana, I got an email from TikTok about shop orders, and they said everything's still coming out. Of course, if somebody ordered something last night right near the band, or in the, in the shop owner didn't see the order and they're in the US, they can't access their shops. So there could be a delay that way. But, you know, and on ByteDance, everyone said, well, all your stuff is still there. And it is. Hi, Dorothy. Welcome to my very first live on where am I? I'm on YouTube. Yeah, there might be a delay, but there's no reason to think that hi, Kira. There's no reason to think they wouldn't be fulfilled. And if you're in the Creator Fund, if you have content up, people could still give you tips. Your content that's monetizing can still monetize. Oh, honey, it's serendipity. We're good. Charlie the squirrel. Hi, Charlie the squirrel. Well, I just thought I would come on here just because this is my very first time over here. They don't have any fancy things over here. They can do this. This is so funny. This is now see, retouches on, so it makes my face all, takes away all my blemishes. Makes me look like my face has been sanded. I don't want to do that. You were true on TT. Okay. I love Charlie the Squirrel. I think that's a great name. That's a great name. That's an epic name. I'm happy to see you too, Rachel. We're all going to be okay. Everybody, and there were some people, I guess, last night crying and hollering and rending. It's like, it's okay. This is a bump in the road. In digital chemical peel. Now, if it could just fix the bad back and the wonky hip and the everything else, when you're over 50 and you sneeze and you accidentally throw your back out, or you trip over the air and twist your knee. Dorothy, we're good. We're not lost. We're not lost at all. And there's some. I actually posted some videos up on Instagram of TikTok going down. I was live when it happened. The only constant life is change. Exactly. Well, Dale, I'm glad you're here. We're scattered, but we find each other. We'll find each other. I have accidentally opened it a couple times. It's click. We were in the middle of a live, and I had 6. I don't usually have people in the panel, but I was like, I'm just going to have friends in. So I had in Eve and Hassas and Preeti and Tittle and Miss Magoo, and Mia was in there. I think Preeti had just dropped, but somebody had just dropped, but Mia was in there. And all of a sudden, my screen went sort of gray-green. And everyone's like, oh my God, where'd she go? And I could still see the boxes. I could hear them talking. They were moving and everything. And I was like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No one could hear me. I couldn't type any comments or anything. And so I just got out of there. But apparently the live stayed up because there were still people in it. And I went over to Instagram and started live. And then I texted Hassas and Eve and Preeti, and I said, I'm live on Instagram. And everybody finally got out of the live. Yeah, and I can only have 3 people in along with me in a Instagram live. But it's I'm gonna do lives every night on Instagram. I'll do story time around 8 p.m. So you know what? They can't get rid of us. They cannot get rid of us. There are too many platforms to work on. Doesn't look like you can have anybody join you over here. The only controls I have here are flipping the screen backwards, turning the mic off and on. the make you sand your face one, and then apparently there's one where you can you can make a clip. Oh, I'm staying on Meta, yeah. And the thing is with I like Instagram. I Instagram. I've been on Instagram a really long time, and Facebook, quite honestly, is kind of become like the internet um, obituaries. Uh, I'm gonna be 59, and that's where I find out that people have died. Um, and yeah, Lemonade and CapCut are also down, and you know, like high school reunions are organized through there. Actually, Facebook has a really good, you know, like invitation thing. If you're gonna have a party, like I have friends who organize party through this, send out invitations, and you know, that's why I'm keeping it. I'm not really what I would call active on Facebook. I cross post there. Hi Jennifer. Hi Deedrum. Derpy Katos. I love your name. You're copying down recipes or things saved. It's gonna come back up, sweetie. Hi Daisy. Karen, that's one thing that they did not, that no one anticipated. This election was the first one that was completely digital. I mean, anybody with a phone. And also, what's happening in Gaza, they did not anticipate that, because anybody, and this is very important for everyone to remember. Anybody with a phone is an ad hoc reporter, an ad hoc journalist. Because like with George Floyd, that was recorded by two just ordinary citizens with their cell phones, and that became evidence, and that's one of the reasons they got convictions. I think the young black woman's name was Daniela. She was only 19, and that's okay. D-Drum. Everybody has their own. I'm not going to tell anybody to get off something, start something, download something. You have to go here. You have to go here. No, do what feels right. I mean, I'm on like Blue Sky. Well, Blue Sky's a lot like X, Twitter, and I've always hated Twitter. I don't like the way it's organized. I don't like the flow of information, but I still have a Blue Sky account just because. Um, well, Lindsay, you know, I think a lot of lives over here are for really big creators. Um, like some of the people that I follow over here, you know, they basically craft maybe an hour or two video once a week, and I don't like Clapper. I've been on Clapper. I have a Clapper account. Somebody's like, I follow you on Clapper. I'm like, yeah, look when I last posted there. I think it was 2021. The thing that you'll see, okay, if you go to Clapper, if you go to a lot of these things, you're gonna maybe see some familiar names, but if they're not posting anything, some creators go to certain platforms just to claim their name, so no one can say, "Oh yeah, I'm the real, you know, Tom Powell." So they may be on there, but they may not be active at all. I have an X account, I think. I might have posted something there last year. Clever STD. Right. But I mean, Threads is. I'm very rarely on Threads, but but what I post on Instagram posts there, so it looks like I'm posting, but I'm not really. I am on Blue Sky. Hi, Cotton. Hi, Sarah. Well, I've been on YouTube. I mean, it's a good place to if you have videos and you want to save them. YouTube's a place, you know, where I think TikTok will be back up within the next 48 hours. Yes, I think I think it will be because he wants to look like a hero. And he's going to be really pissed because now TikTok shutting down is like top news stories. So he's going to have one of the smallest inauguration crowds ever because it's going to be held in the rotunda. I'm not really. Well, Frank, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Blue sky is good for news. But I don't know if it's because of his age, because it is going to be cold tomorrow in Washington D.C. But it actually was colder when Obama was inaugurated. It was bitterly cold when Obama was inaugurated. So I don't know if they're worried about security, shall we say. But there's people that traveled from all over the United States to see it, and now they have to go to a sports arena. Yeah, JFK's was also really cold. I don't know if any others have, Ella. They want to see how small the crowd is. I actually think they're worried about some wackadoodle with, you know what? Reagan was inside. That's not a good omen. Reagan was inside, and the last time the flags were at half staff for an inauguration was Nixon. The gods and goddesses are all pointing their thumbs down. Yeah, I would say Luigi effect, yes. Well, and the other thing is that if they're outside, it's much harder to control the crazies. But if it's going to be going into the Capital One Center, I think that's what it's called. You're going to go through security. There are not going to be any pew-pews in there. There is going to be tight security. You're going to have to be on your best behavior. And Preeti, who's one of my moderators, works in DC and lives in Maryland. And she said DC is locked down as tight as you can possibly imagine. They're double fencing up everywhere, and they're going to have streets closed. And they should. And she said there's been people already that have decided that they were going to try and get to the White House or do what they wanted to do, and they have basically eaten the pavement and they've been arrested. Oh, I don't remember that. He said the courtroom was cold. But he's pushing 80. I mean, he's grandpa age. So would I want my grandpa standing outside in the cold that long? No. I mean, that's the thing with elderly people, and that's one of the things that was hard for my mother to understand as she got older. When I moved back here in 2012, and she was in her 80s. The thing with elderly people is, younger people. I'm not exactly the younger people. You're in your 30s, you get a cold. You're like, I'm good. I can tough this out. I'm gonna take some NyQuil, take some ibuprofen. I'm good. I'm okay. In an elderly person, it can go from a minor illness to a major critical illness very quickly. Judy, the first thing they have to do is, before we put age limits on, we need to review and restructure campaign finance. We need to get the PACs out of it, because right now the PACs basically run the elections. And we need to have caps. We need to say, here, you can raise X amount of money, and this is the money you get from the Republicans and the Democrats and the Independents or the Green Party or the whoever. This is the maximum you can give your candidate. And if you spend it all on TV ads, then you spend it all on TV ads, and that's all you've got. The rest is going to have to come out of your own pocket. And we also need, this is the other thing that just pisses me off. If you run on the Democratic ticket or the Republican ticket, and then you're elected. And then 6 months later, a year later, you go, oh, I'm switching parties. You have to pay back all of the money you got. All of it. And also, if your voting record shows that you're voting against the own party ideologies and platforms 90% of the time, 80% of the time, whatever, you pay back the money. I mean, because some people are very, I don't know about age limits. I think it depends on the person. I mean, my mother was very cognitively sharp at the age of 92. The week before she died, she was preparing her taxes for her accountant. So it does somewhat depend on the person. Biden's going to talk about the hostages? Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get this on my... YouTube TV. Okay, well, this is NBC. It's not on there. Yeah, the bait and switch is terrible. It is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. Oh, you're on MSNBC? Hang on a second. Live. Trying to find it. Oh. Why do I not find MSNBC? Hi, Ms. Magoo. MSNBC. Okay, I've got MSNBC on live. Is it that my friend who's telling me about MSNBC? Judy, I don't know. How are you doing, Miss Magoo? I loved your videos. Okay. Well, when he starts talking, I'll turn it up. But right now they're not doing anything. Ronti, I don't know. But we were talking to Preeti last night. I mean, it's going to be in the Capitol Rotunda. The Rotunda is actually pretty small. I thought maybe you could get 100 chairs in there, and she goes, no. She goes, maybe 50 to 75 if there was nothing else in there. But they're going to have a podium for the inauguration. And then they're going to, there's a gallery, but I would bet they're going to put the press in the gallery. So with the podium and all that whoop-de-doo in the center, if they can get 50 people in there, it's going to be tight. Yes, that's where you lie in state. But it really isn't. I mean, the Capitol is a large building, but the Rotunda is not that huge. Yeah, he's got no giant crowd cheering for him, which is going to really... it's really going to sour his binky. And the people that are going to the Capitol once that are all pissed off. So I'm sure he's going to come out on his white horse saving TikTok. Even though he's the one that started the ban. Oh, God. I just think that's funny. Okay. I'm just so glad to see everyone here. The hotels are not sold out now. And it's going to be terrible weather. I mean, it's going to be snowy and cold. It's supposed to snow like starting last night in DC into this morning. And then it's going to be like bitterly, bitterly cold. Hi there. So, Hamas hands over 3 Israeli hostages. Okay. Hi, Maria. Hi, Bethane. Well, even there, I mean, he had planned a rally, a big rally, because he always needs an emotional support rally. And you're good. You're good, Maria. We get everyone. Look at us, all the TikTok refugees gluing together. He did start it. Hi, Joshua. He's the one that started wanting the ban. It started 2020. I mean, it started not long after I started TikTok. I mean, I want to say it was August, maybe, when he was August of 2020. They can't break us apart. No, we're family, sweetie. Like I said last night, I'm herpes. It's we've made something that they can't get rid of. It's like there's always going to be people out there banding together like this from now on, because everyone has a phone. So if you do see something, film it. First of all, it can make you a lot of money if like CNN or Reuters or somebody like that buys it from you, and you could be part of history, and you could be part of getting somebody justice. We have, and we've done a good job of it, and that's one thing they can't get rid of. It doesn't matter where we are, we'll find each other. Oh, you're a TikToker, yeah. Kitties are doing fine. It's cold here. The wind chill this morning was 23 below zero. So when I took the cat food out to Mimi, she looked at it through her little window and was like, "I'm not coming out." I was like, "That's fine. I understand." But their water is open. So the kitties have water. Mimi is in one of the heated cat houses. The other one is still not occupied. I have 2 heated cat houses, and I don't know why another kitty doesn't want to move into it. And then I have one other shelter on the porch that is insulated, but no one's in that either. It was like a little emergency shelter. So, and they can also get into my shed. There is a bed in my shed that they can snuggle up into. So at least that gets you out of the wind. Extreme cold warning in Ohio. So just so they have the ability to get out of the wind. They have, and the thing is, it's so windy in Nebraska. That will help preserve heat. There's lots of food. There's open water. That's about as good as they can get it for wild kitties. Yeah, Mimi is a smart kitty. She knows. She's like moved into the one little cat house, the one that's the cutest. She's got the one that has little windows painted on it. And she's not leaving. And then the other green cat house is right next to her, and it has extra insulation in it now. It has a new blanket. It has a heating pad. And we have no snow here. It's 82 in Puerto Rico. Nobody likes you. But by Wednesday, we're supposed to be up in the 40s again. That's Nebraska. I'm welcome to come. Thank you, sweetie. Well, when Dingle Dongle McBongle Fongle is president again, I could come to Puerto Rico and he could throw paper towels at me because that was so helpful. He'll have to talk to the president of Puerto Rico when he gets there. But I did talk to. I'm just reiterating. I did have a phone call this morning with a solicitor in England about the possibilities and pathways to getting to retiring in Scotland. And there are a couple of pathways. It's not something that would be happening immediately. But there are possibilities, and we're going to investigate a couple different methods and see what's what. You might get some snow in New York. New York's gotten a lot of snow already. What is this? Oh, this is some chick talking. Some chick. Clarity is behind the couch and she's snoring. I don't know if you can hear that. A little. Oh, Long Island. Well, yeah. The snow in the cities, though, or Long Island or Chelsea or anything like that, that is usually a mess. Just because you've got such a population density. Yeah. Thank you, Peter. Some people are moving to other countries, and every country has different rules and regulations for entry. Now, if I had a parent that had been born in the UK, that would be very easy to claim like birthright citizenship, but I don't. I'm several generations out from anybody being born there. And then all of my relatives from the UK were in prison. Well, I wonder if it's because if they have a phone that they purchased in the United States, maybe that would. You know, I don't know. Teachers, kids who don't understand geography? No, I think it's mostly adults who don't understand geography. I work with the alphas. I work in a grade school. Some of those kids are just. I'm like, you're a lot smarter than I was in grade school. Yeah, you can show adults a map of the world and ask them to point out the United States, and some of them can't find it. Yeah, 100 miles from the border. But if they had, like, say they had bought a phone in upstate New York or something like that, or it had American SIM card, I don't know. Uh, who knows? Oh, Gen Alphas are incredibly smart. They're also incredibly empathetic, and um, they have a very strong sense of justice. Uh huh. Yep. I have seen and that's something we're going to always struggle with is when switching from like internet speak to proper English. And quite honestly, uh, writing in English is very hard, and very few people do it well. Very few adults do it well. I was on a scholarship committee one time for an engineering scholarship. And the papers I had to read were, some of them were just painful. But I mean, that's just something we work with. It's like, no, you don't write. You don't write, LOL and things like that. But I mean, that's just something you'll learn. Um, and I actually think the alphas are really good. We do a lot of writing starting in fourth grade. Fourth grade, they start doing writing projects. Fifth grade, they're doing some much more serious writing projects. Sixth grade, they're doing writing poetry. They're writing book reports. They're doing some in-depth writing. So we're really trying to make sure that they do write well. Not every school does that. Not every school district has the capability to do that, you know. And then the high school I went to here in Omaha has always been known for its English program. Um, well, it depends on the school system, Lorraine. Our school system still teaches cursive. I mean, I've got second graders that can read cursive. So it depends on the school district. There's 13,000, more than 13,000 independent school districts in the United States. Everyone sets their own curriculum. The Department of Education does not set our curriculum, no matter what the far right and evangelicals want to tell you. And Beth Ann, if you want help in that too, Walmart has cursive handbooks, like workbooks. I actually got one because I wanted to try and improve my cursive writing. I think they were $1, and they were just workbooks, but you could color in them. You did the exercises and things like that, and a lot of it's just muscle memory in your hand. But some school districts don't have the money. Most of the cursive books now are consumable. They don't have the money, or they don't have the teachers, or they don't have the time to do it, since they keep putting more and more and more and more and more on teachers every year. Oh, well, I think it's something that it depends on the district. And then I heard that, I don't know who it was, told me that I don't know if it's a I don't know if it's a museum or what is hiring people that can read cursive. Is there a difference in public and private schools? Oh yeah. Um, first of all, public private schools do not have to take you. Private schools, if you have behavior problems, there's the door. They do not have to have you go to school there because there's public education. We have Creighton Prep here, which is the preparatory school for Creighton University. I know that when I don't know what it costs to go there now, but when I was a senior in high school, it was more expensive to go to Creighton Prep than it was to go to the University of Nebraska at Lincoln for a year. Creighton Prep has so much money. They have, cleverly, they have so much money that the kids get opportunities that kids in public school just don't get. Like there was a guy that a friend of mine was dating. He went to Creighton Prep, and it was National Archives. Okay. He was interested in business, and so he was taking business classes his senior year, and they got him an internship at a business in Omaha. So for half of the day, he actually went and worked at an actual business in Omaha. So he got on the job experience. It was like, we don't get that. I mean, then there's like Brownell Talbot is another one that's a private school that's very expensive. Oh my God. Um, but yeah, they have opportunities that, I mean, there's smaller classes. There's not behavior problems because they won't tolerate them. And Beth Ann, they school districts just they. I'm when you see how much teachers, how much more work teachers are asked to do every year. I mean, when you go home from your job, you go home from your job. You clock out, you're gone. Hopefully, unless you're a doctor and you're on call. I have teachers friends that tell me that parents call them at 10:30 at night, email them, text them. One of the teachers got cussed out by a lady because she couldn't find her child's jacket and accused the teacher of stealing it. The teacher's like, I don't have your kid's jacket. She goes, I don't even know what it looks like. Within an hour, this lady goes, oh, cancel that. We found it here. Not, I'm sorry, I was out of line. Dale, they do. They buy an inordinate amount of supplies for their own classrooms. Exactly, teacher face. Or I don't know why you're picking on my kid. Well, your kid hasn't turned in any homework for the last 3 weeks. Well, you're picking on, no, those are the requirements of the class. That's like, okay, if you get a job and you don't finish your work, you're not going to be employed for long. And it's not, oh, I need an extent. Nope, your customer needs their stuff now. Well, Peter, I mean, if you have that opportunity, take it. Your high school teacher, that's good. AP Bio. Teachers are not. Teachers aren't paid well, and they're always blamed for everything. Hi, Sarah. But I mean I could have become a teacher. I was a paraeducator, but they have a program called Parent to Teacher, and the school district will pay for your entire education, and then you have to sign a contract. I think you are contracted for 5 years to work for Omaha Public Schools, and that works out for them quite well. But I would never want to do what teachers do. I mean, quite honestly, every single grade level should have a para and a floating para. So you have another adult that can come in the room so the teacher can maybe have help with a kid who's struggling, or the teacher can actually go to the bathroom, or something like that. The teacher has a behavior problem with a kid and has to take the kid to the office, but you got to have, hi Sarah, you got to have something to take some of the burden off the teachers. And if you had a floating para for each grade level, you may not need to be in every classroom at all times. Sexual medically accurate. Well, Peter, I'm in grade school. They start health, we call it health class, in 4th grade. And it is taught by our nurse, who is an RN. So I would say absolutely it's medically accurate. You only attend health class if your parents allow it. There is a permission slip that goes home. And I don't know why you would think they would not teach something that's not medically accurate. And I mean, starting in 4th grade, they're talking about changes your bodies are going into, wearing a bra, hygiene, things like that. They finally get into some of the very beginnings of reproduction for sixth graders. But I mean, they're also talking about things that these are things that historically parents always clutch their pearls and go, "Oh, I should be talking to my child about that." That's great, but you don't. I mean, the parents don't. Very few parents do. So then it becomes the responsibility of the schools. And is an is a parent in an elementary school. Um, but I mean, one of the things they talked about in fourth grade was online safety. They do talk about being safe, and the I sat in on all the classes for the girls because I had to go with one of my students. And she said, "How many of you have been in online gaming sites and thought that somebody in the chat was trying to, like single you out and get information about like where you lived, where you went to school, how old you were, that sort of thing?" And every single little girl in that class of fourth graders, that's 10-year-olds, raised their hand. Every single one of them had experienced that. And she said, "Well, what do you do?" And most of the kids just said, "Well, I turn the chat off or I turn the game off and I get out of it." I think it was 4 of the girls had already made up online personas where they all said they were in their 20s. And she said, "Why do you say you're in your 20s?" And they said, "Because they're not interested." Because these are the P3DOs in there. And they said they all said they were in their 20s and they had a fake name and they had fake places they lived. And like one little girl, like say just for instance, said she lives in Kansas City. And she said, "Well, why'd you pick Kansas City?" She goes, "My grandma lives there, so I know the city." So if somebody says, "Well, do you know Doug's Pizza on 12th?" She's like, "There's no Doug's Pizza on 12th. That's Manzetti's Pizza on 12th." So she knows the city. The most dangerous places where predators are is online, in gaming rooms, because all the kids are there. And they want to call teachers predators and groomers. The groomers are in the chat rooms. The groomers are at your churches. Your groomers are your Boy Scout leaders, your priests, your ministers, and they're also grooming the parents. They're grooming the parents so the parents willingly take their kids to them and go, "Oh yeah, sure, you're safe." And then the teachers get blamed. Now, are there teachers that have done that? Yes, and they're terrible people and they belong in prison. And the thing that we have in Nebraska is we have mandated reporting, but part of our mandated reporting is if I see or know about one of my colleagues doing something terrible to a child and I don't report them, I can go to prison. And we had that happen at a grade school here where an assistant principal turned a blind eye and he knew what was happening. And it was like a first grade teacher, I think it was, abusing children in the worst way possible. And that assistant principal is in the Nebraska State Penitentiary. And I can tell you what, that makes a big impression on the staff. It's like, I see you do something, I will turn you in a second. Try me. You don't do that to kids. And if you shouldn't be in education, you shouldn't do that. I mean, the right makes it sound like teachers are all these horrible people, and it's like I've seen teachers, pool their money together so a kid could go to the dentist. Pool their money together so the parents could afford an inhaler. Happens all the time. I've seen teachers buy backpacks, clothing, shoes because that's just what teachers do. You know, oh no, I thought Biden was talking. He's not. It's an empty podium so far. He does belong in prison. But I don't know I don't know what you would mean by medically inaccurate, Peter. That's a little confusing, I guess. What type of medically inaccurate information do you think would be given to them? I mean, I imagine that in junior high school, then health class is a little more detailed about reproduction. Oh, abstinence, yeah. Well, that is one way that works, but not many people practice it. Nothing. I just decided to have a little live over here. But you know what? I've been on for an hour, and I probably need to get up and have some breakfast because I was up really early for my interview. But I really appreciate all you coming. You're part of my very first live, and thanks for being here. I'll be on Instagram tonight. Okay? So goodbye, everyone.